A lot of rock stars like to project an image of danger is my middle name. Look at me, I'm biting the head off a chicken. Get out of my way, I'm evoking Satan. Hey, check this out, I'm wearing a leather jacket and sunglasses indoors. But for all the talk, how many musicians can say they were kicked off a record label for being a badass? Glenn Danzig can. In the late 70s and early 80s, Glenn served time with influential hardcore band The Misfits. Then a la John Bon Jovi, he decided to form a band named after his own surname and put out records like Danzig 2, Lucifage, and Danzig 3, How the Gods Kill. But by the mid-90s, he'd had enough of his record label, American Recordings, and left. After shopping around, he signed to a new label, Hollywood Records, the company he felt was most conducive to his creative direction. He hit the studio and recorded the tracks Sacrifice, Hint of Her Blood, and The Power of Darkness, amongst others. The album that resulted, Danzig 5, Black Acid Devil, was unleashed on an eagerly awaiting world. It seemed no one could stop the powerhouse that was Glenn Danzig. Then he met this man. Or dog. Or horse. Or whatever the hell he is. You see, the label he'd signed with, Hollywood Records, was a subsidiary of the Walt Disney Company. Religious lobby groups, like the American Family Association, felt it was morally wrong for Disney, which promotes itself as focused on family values, to be putting out Glenn Danzig, who they saw as a Satanist. The religious groups put the pressure on Walt Disney's nephew, Roy. It worked. The album was pulled, and Danzig was kicked off the label. Glenn was furious. He claimed Disney CEO Michael Eisner had personally signed off on the deal, and he had been assured he'd be allowed creative freedom. But this wasn't to be the only time that Hollywood Records signed a band only to have its parent company turn up the heat. I spoke to Violent J and Shaggy Two Dope of the Insane Clown Posse backstage in San Antonio, Texas. Hello, are you there? Is this Violent J?
This is Violent J.
So when did you sign to Hollywood Records?
That was 1997 when we signed with Hollywood Records.
Did they tell you they were part of the Disney family?
Yeah, well, they're owned by Disney, but they're not really part of Disney. You know, it's just Disney owns a lot of shit. You wouldn't realize all the stuff Disney owns. I wouldn't be surprised if Disney owned titty bars and porno shops all over the world. Disney has their hand in every cookie jar, not just the Snow White movies or the amusement parks. In fact, I'm told Disney owns Miramax Films, which puts out a lot of Freddy Krueger movies that get people's necks chopped off and shit like that. So Disney is very much involved in the wicked side of the earth, too. Don't let them fool you.
Were you worried about your creative freedom when you heard that Hollywood Records was owned by Disney?
We don't care what record label we're on. I don't care if we're on Atlantic or Epic or Disney. None of that shit matters to me. You know what I'm saying? As long as I make music the way I want and as long as we can continue to put the wicked shit down any way we want, that's what we'll do.
So who are the people who protested Disney?
On a regular basis, we have church people and protesters and even fans of Disney protesting our concerts. And that's when we send Sabu out there once again. He just kicks their ass. You know, we don't take things politician way, you know? We're not into voting or all of that. We'll just slap your ass silly and that's it, you know what I mean?
So how did Hollywood Records tell you it was all over?
They got caught. The word leaked out to the press that they were the ones behind Insane Clown Posse. So they got scared, so they tried to drop us real quick and wash their hands free of it. But it didn't work. Word got out. Word got all over the world that Disney is evil, snaky bastards. And now they don't know what to do. So
were you upset at Disney?
We didn't care. We knew we'd get it back out in a matter of months anyway, you know what I mean? Disney's mistake made us millions of dollars. Which is why I'm fat, because I can afford to eat all the double cheeseburgers I want.
So Violent J, is it true you told your fans to go down to Disneyland and burn it down?
That's right. See, they fear us. If I made the announcement for all juggalos to burn down Disneyland, there would be no more Disney.
Now guys, I know you've been cut by this whole Disney experience, so as an act of reconciliation, we've brought along a special friend who has a peace offering of a lollipop, I believe. Mickey, do you have anything to say to the Insane Clown Posse?
I'm sorry.
Insane Clown Posse, do you have anything to say to Mickey?
Come on in here, Mickey. How you doing? How you doing, Mickey? Thanks for coming in the show, Mickey. What's up? Get Sabu off him. He'll kill him. Get Sabu off him. Come on. Get Sabu. Get him. Kill him. Pull him back. Tell Mike Eisner I said next time we bump into him or any CEOs of Disney, I've got Sabu right here with us to kick the shit out of him.
So, Shaggy, do you feel as passionate as Violent J on this whole beating up of the CEO issue?
Well, I wouldn't kill him.
I'd just break his legs, arms, back, and face so he could sit in a hospital bed for the rest of his life sucking strawberry
jam out of straws.
That's right.
Now, I know if Walt Disney was alive today, you'd probably want to beat the crap out of him too, but he's dead. But luckily, he's been cryogenically frozen, as we all know, to be brought back at a future date when medical technology advances. So we've come up with the next best thing. We've kickstarted a fund to cryogenically freeze you at Michigan's Cryonics Institute, which is, of course, in your hometown. So when the frozen body of Walt is thawed out, you can be thawed out at the same time and proceed to beat him up then. We've kickstarted the fund with a $25 donation. And viewers can make a donation by sending a cheque to Cryonics Institute, 24355 Sorrentino Court, Clinton Township, Michigan, zip code 48035. Thanks for joining us, Insane Clown Posse.
Hey, thank you for calling us and having us talk to you.
Did you know our sound guy, who we dressed as Mickey Mouse, actually started bleeding from the head when Sabu kicked him? Sabu later shook his hand and apologised.